From Tutorial Island to Max Cape, my Ironman took me 1600 hours to achieve this. As a freshly maxed Ironman, with nearly 0 PVM kills and experience, I needed a goal. Despite being unfamiliar with a lot of bosses in this game, I want to get absolute max gear in my Ironman, all by myself. Just me doing the most efficient way of grinding upgrades, including all 3 mega rares. This is my journey. Follow along as I go from freshly maxed to absolute maxed. After nearly 100 hours of Yama, we got our second Oathplate piece, the helmet. And then we use our smithing and mining abilities to craft the plate body. With this, full Oathplate was complete. We were ready to move on to the next grind. I'm not sure I ever spoke about how good Oathplate actually is, but essentially what this set does is it has Bandos strength and extra slash bonus for accuracy. Because of the extra slash bonus, Oathplate in certain scenarios is actually stronger than Torva. We just grinded out gear that's sometimes better than Torva. And what better place to use it than a boss we slash at? Such as, I don't know, remember when we did Duke? It was almost a month ago at this point, because when Yama came out, we dropped everything to get the new armor ASAP. But before then, we were going for the majoring from Duke, a 1 in 720 drop. This is where I mentioned something that is both good and bad news. A small spoiler, but I actually completed the Magus ring a day before Yama came out. So while Oathplate is best in slot here, and theoretically we did or do have full Oathplate right now, this grind was unfortunately done a bit ago. Now, the KC I finished the ring on, that's to be determined. But let's jump into our last little session using Bandos armor before we retire it forever to Oathplate. Here is 1234 KC on RSN 789. 1300 KC, still nothing. We were getting pretty close to Yama release at the time of this clip, and I was getting nervous about finishing the ring in time. It would have been really nice to finish content right before retiring for a different 3-week grind. I was now up to 1500 dry, more than 2 times. I don't know if you guys remember, but the majoring has dry protection, meaning going 2 times dry here is a bit rougher than 2 times dry anywhere else. A few kills later, 1509, it happened. Another Virtus robe top. I also got 2 ingots from this same trip, kind of interesting. Only a few kills after that, another thing happened. You dropped a nuclear bomb straight into Duke's mouth, exploding him from the insides. We managed a new PB, a 1 minute 15 second kill. See, we don't need Oathplate. 1600 KC, another eyepiece. I ended my day around 1650 KC, and I was getting very concerned about where my ring drop is. I should be 2 out of 3 by now. There's just no way we aren't almost done. Good morning, everybody. To keep myself motivated and interested, today we are going to be trying something new. We're going to be going for a Duke 6-hour record. Just in case you have zero clue what I'm talking about, on TempleOSRS.com, there are records for each and every boss, in different time periods, such as 6 hours, 24 hours, weeks, months, etc. How would a 6-hour record work? Well, the game RuneScape auto-logs everybody at 6 hours, right? We call that nerd logging. The way 6-hour records work on this website is that we update our high scores right before the 6-hour log, and then once right after, both within a 5-minute period. And that is how the site tracks how many kills you can do in a 6-hour, which when currently filtered to Ironman, the rank 1 is 179 kills in a 6-hour session. I believe this was pre-Emberlight, and while the scythe does beat an Emberlight, the Emberlight is probably good enough to beat this, as long as I don't die and can concentrate for the full 6 hours. The reason we filter to Ironman is because while you may think this is a solo boss, and it is true that only one person can be in the room, the meta for mains is about 20% faster, requiring you to leave and rejoin each kill with heal other and venge other. As an Ironman, of course, I cannot do that. I have to do the whole trip myself, meaning in order to get better KPH, we have to minimize our banking with longer trips, and overall just not go AFK. If really tryharding, it is possible to leave all loot on the ground. However, while I do care a bit to maximize my kills, I still want to loot stuff that is useful. That being said, it's very important to have a good bank layout for quick banking in general when doing any type of boss. This is where a lot of people lose time, thinking banking is a break. Banking is unironically one of my favorite parts about bossing. I'm honestly half expecting the ring to drop during this session. If that happens, we get to end early and move on to the next thing. I just got a Virtus mask 2 hours in. Alright. That made 0 sense and is insane. The first click not working threw me off so bad. 4 hours in, only 2 hours left. We lost our first kill of the session, but I think it's worth continuing. After all, we might not even have a ring drop to go for in 2 hours. A 31.3 kills per hour pace will definitely drop though. Not only 789, but 1789 KC now. This is my 30-minute warning to get a ring drop, otherwise I am completing the session. I'm a bit short of 31 kills per hour, but 30.8 is not bad considering the depth. 1825 KC. Almost done with the 6 hour. This is it. I actually had the best timing ever to finish the 6 hour. We're coming up to 90 seconds off of being force logged, and not enough food for one more kill. So instead of logging or trying another kill, we can simply take our time, do a full bank, and get back to the entrance. Right before clicking logout, we need to update ourselves on Temple. This will read our KC on the official high scores since our last logout, which was 6 hours ago. From then, we have exactly 5 minutes to click update again for it to read the new boss KC number on the high scores. 5 minutes is more than enough time to squeeze in 2 more kills. Plus, who knows, one of those might be a ring. And so, 2 kills later, 1837 total KC, no ring drops. We could finally log out and update our high scores. In one session, 6 hours long, we managed to kill Duke 185 times. A very solid session. After that, I finally treated myself to a herb run break. Something I should have done many times over the last 6 hours, but didn't. Remember, this account is an Iron Man. I have to make the potions and herbs myself. I've always told you guys I only completed clues for the heck of it. I never really had any long-term plans for it. Normally, I would do them when I wanted a break from bossing, usually during a herb run. Because we just did a fat 6 hour session, this is probably the most clues I've ever had stacked at once during PVM. I think I actually understand why people want noted clues now. Because if I could casually do this many clues every time I wanted to, it would probably be very chill. That is another 3 elite caskets added to the stack, which we do not open until we are ready. The only reason we are not ready yet is because since we are an Iron Man, we are missing a lot of item requirements for master clues. Every elite casket we open has a 1 in 5 chance of giving a master. This scales down for each clue tier, and we want to try to stack as many masters as possible. Like I said, until I am ready. Now we go back to Duke. After those clues, I made my way right back to Duke to make some more KC. This time, we get to chill a bit as we're no longer on a timer. Here is 1901 KC. 1916 KC, another Eye of the Duke. Whoops, wrong drop. 1929, another Virtus mask. Not quite. Oh my god, I'm free! Yay! 1980 kills was all it took. We were so close to the 2k mark, but thankfully we did not have to hit it. Duke was for sure one of my favorite bosses, and being over 30 kills per hour made it a bearable and fun grind, as it wasn't too slow. I went nearly 3 times dry and still enjoyed all of it. There it is, the Magus ring. Our best in slot magic ring, giving us 2% magic damage. So what's next? There are 2 more upgrades available for max mage gear. The first is being ancestral, which is from the first raid Chambers of Xerix. We did this for a T-bow already, and along the grind of 33 purples, we received 0 ancestral pieces. Not the greatest luck. The other upgrade, which is only really relevant when we own a shadow, which we finally have, is the Imbued Heart. Many Iron Men fear the Imbued Heart. They think it is one of the hardest grinds in the game. The reality is, when you know what you're doing, it's not that bad of a grind. That is going to be our next focus. However, we just need one small upgrade before we start it. The Venator Bow from Musa. Similar to the dry protection we just had at Duke with the invisible rolls to make sure we don't go too dry, the Venator bow requires 5 shards to make, each a 1 in 100 drop. Hopefully that means we don't go too dry. Surely I'm due to be lucky somewhere, right? I just hit 50 KC and our fastest kill time is 2 minutes. Not really that good. Muspa is an interesting boss to say the least. It has very funky mechanics that feel foreign, such as moving spikes randomly during the fight, and the kills are insanely long. I have 2 mega rares, so they will be a good amount faster than doing this with the Bofa, which is pretty common. With 2 mega rares, I can get about 20 to 24 kills per hour long term, which is still kind of slow. Imagine using a Bofa only, that's about 16 to 18 kills per hour. Another silly mechanic is a smite phase, which is miserable without a ZCB. It is possible to skip it, but it requires a fair bit of RNG. We are currently 55 KC and have not seen to skip once yet. Okay, I take that back. My first ever skip. This kill was 1 minute and 43 seconds. A significant difference in speed just by skipping one phase. I decided to use some Dragon Bolts to make the phase a little more bearable. That's at least a nice benefit of having a Dragon Hunter crossbow. I can equip Dragon Tier Bolts, which are significantly better than normal. The first hit on Muspa while it is under 130 HP will proc the Smite phase. He will teleport to the middle, you get 2 hits on him, and then the phase starts. This is where the Sapphire Bolts are useful. Muspa has 75 hit points, which are basically prayer points in this phase. You have to get rid of all 75 before you can damage him again. The Sapphire Bolts have a proc that can drain 30 to 33 prayer points. When they proc, the phase can be pretty quick. That's why a ZCB is night and day difference here, because you can spec with it and guarantee a 30 to 33 every time. Unfortunately, with our Dragon Hunter crossbow, we just have to hit it and hope for the best. Walk straight, pray true. No idea what that CA is, but we did it. Up to 100 KC now and still no shards. Unlucky on the first one, but we still can leave here lucky. We just need all 5 before 500. There's still a chance. There's 2 specials that Muspa does each kill. RNG, which is first. The first special that can happen is when he teleports around. This can be chill if it's done first. We just go to the southwest tile and AFK and shoot. The other special is the one where the problem is. And the stronger you are, the worse the phase is. Muspa will give life to spikes around the room and have them chase you for a certain period of time. Now that's the problem. It's for a certain period of time. It doesn't end when you deal X amount of damage. If you've been drinking milk every morning like me and have 2 mega rares, this phase can be insanely annoying. Because the boss will still continue like normal, you have to actively avoid the spikes while doing other phases. Here I got really lucky because the spikes stopped 1 tile away. But sometimes they are not afraid to hit me while I'm trying to get my 2 hits in before the smite phase. I kind of did that thing where I dropped a nuclear bomb on Muspa this kill. And I landed the smite skip. This got me the GM time at 112 KC. Not bad, hopefully next we'll get a shard. With the GM time done, I decided to do a couple more CAs here for free points. This one took me longer than I care to admit, but having to walk the entire kill, actively avoid the spikes while not being able to run, and at the end I had to idly AFK before killing it because I had to be fully trapped by the spikes. This was harder than you would think. As most things in RuneScape though, with a matter of time, it has been complete. We also did the 10 kills in one trip, and I did one attempt at this with Tivo only that did not work out. And shockingly to me, even with a full 6-way mage switch, the shadow was so good that we killed Muspa fast enough to where we didn't need to use that many supplies. When I did my Tivo only trip, we were using so many supplies because each kill was so long. I had a new nuclear kill, 121. I beat my old PB by 1 tick. We are up to 237 KC now, and I think I kind of gave up on the idea of swooning here because we still don't have 1 shard yet. Ooh, first shard complete, 282 KC. If I get 4 more of these, I'm done. Not sure if my inventory is normal, but I basically have 0 space because I have so many switches. I decided to start bringing an Elder Maul to spec at the beginning of each kill. Normally, this is not recommended because you would be better off speccing with an ACB or ZCB during smite phase. However, we only have a Dragon Hunter crossbow which does not have a spec. If we hit an Elder Maul, our T-bow is 15% stronger. While we do only use it for half the kill, it's still 7.5% stronger for the whole kill. Pretty good and worth it if you don't have a ranged spec weapon. It also increases our chances of smite skipping. I mentioned earlier that this is heavily RNG based. The way it works is that when Mespa goes to the center, whether his HP is 120 or 50, we have to do 2 hits, and the second hit has to specifically be on tick 6. This is easy with the T-bow, because if we hit on tick 1, our second hit will be on tick 6. That part is nice. It's just sometimes rare to deal so much damage in 2 hits. The lowering defense definitely can be the difference between getting a skip or not though. You never know. 1 tick at a time. Another PB by 1 tick. 391 KC now. 550 KC. This is actually shard number 3. I can't seem to find the clip where I got 2. 100 kills later. 16 more kills after that, number 666. It was my 4th shard. 1 more to go and we are out of here. The magic number was not 700. Extremely important, but I forgot to mention. In smite phase, we 1000% want to cast both Mark of Darkness and Corruption. Corruption drains his prayer faster, and a lot of people don't know this, but the Mark of Darkness makes the spell stronger. Anything to get through this phase quicker. KC number 750. Yay, we're done forever! Ah, that's relieving. The Veni bow is complete. The heart grind is just about ready to be started. The Veni bow does and will use a lot of arrows, and thankfully I've been able to AFK Amethyst while editing and such. Ideally we want to fully AFK the arrow portion, as that part of upkeeping Iron Man is the one I don't enjoy. Potions, herb runs, birdhouses, brews, all of the fun stuff. AFKing Amethyst, not so much. This seems like a great point to end today's video, so as always, I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you all next time. Peace out.